Zidane Danny, Electro Ninja here, and oh my gosh, I did not keep track of time very well. So, I was looking at my schedule for the next year, and apparently, uh, yeah, we're at the 6 year anniversary of this channel, which, wow, that is really bad timing because I didn't actually get a chance to make a video for this day. I think I might do something later down the line just to do something sometime this week to basically say thank you guys for 6 great years, but oh my gosh, it completely slipped my mind that we were at the 6 year mark. But yeah, here we are. We're at the 6 year mark, and instead of getting a 6 year anniversary video, you guys are getting a freaking Miraculous video. Yes, the latest episode of Crocoduel of Miraculous came out yesterday, which is of course Crocoduel, and obviously I watched it, and you guys are getting this review, which honestly, Crocoduel was kind of interesting, but I think the biggest thing that was a shock to me is kind of Purple Tigress's power, like which is Julika's power. Basically, the way that I've kind of referred to, I've talked a lot about how basically every single power that is used by the different members of the team were their original times that they've gotten akumatized. And yes, they kind of have still stuck to this trend. The only person who hasn't is that of, well, Luca, but that's a weird situation as it is. Basically, everyone is kind of in a weird situation just in general, but the fact is that everyone's powers have been somewhat connected to what they did before, and yet for some reason Julika's is not. It seems like it's basically just a super punch, and yet it's called the power of influence. Unless that is a mistranslation on the terms of the subtitles that were on the version that I watched, but that's, if it is actually the power of influence, then it is still similar, but it's not quite what I was thinking. What I originally thought was that Julika would have the ability to turn invisible, but at the same time, it's still not that weird. It's a weird situation for her. Let's actually just start with the beginning of this episode, and we'll get to Julika more in a bit. To start off the episode, we got to see some really awesome moments of basically everyone, well, freaking out, because obviously Marinette wants to come to one of her best friend's birthdays, but she also doesn't want to come to Luca's birthday because of the fact that there are a lot of issues going on between them right now. And that's understandable. When, especially after a breakup, things can be very hard to go and talk to your ex again. And it takes time. It really does. And yeah, seriously, it does. And the fact that she's actually made a good effort in the past already by bringing characters like bringing Chloe to the rest of the group, but at the same time she's still been a bit separated and hasn't really talked to Luca or a lot of the rest of the group for a while. And understandable, she's going through a tough time. And yeah, she isn't quite ready to talk to Luca, which honestly I think is okay. And it kind of worries me a little bit about what we've seen already from Wishmaker, but I don't know. We'll see how things turn out as we move forward, but yeah, It's weird, to say the least. But honestly, it makes a lot of sense that Luca has a lot of difficulties, and so does everyone. They're basically uncertain because of all the birthday chaos. And instead of anyone that we thought might get akumatized, instead we get frickin' Captain Hard Rock. And oh my gosh, the fact that it's their parents getting akumatized, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, the fact is that I kind of assumed very early on that more than likely whoever gets akumatized, it would be someone who is connected to music. Primarily because I really wanted to see a lot more music people, but at the time I didn't really know what exactly it would be. But it makes sense that it's two people who were at one point together, and it's honestly makes a lot of sense why it's called Crocoduel instead of Crocoduo. Because they're not really together in this sense. They're fighting each other constantly, and it makes sense. Basically, they will only team up in order to fight Ladybug and Cat Noir. The rest of the time, they're fighting each other, and it makes a lot of sense. It's also really interesting to see that for the first time, a object had to be was broken before it got before the basically right as the Akuma hit it, and as such, when it was broken, it didn't actually release the Akuma. Instead, they had to reunite it together in order to, well, break it again to finish off their job, to unite it in a whole before it could actually release the Akuma. It was honestly a really interesting aspect. It was also interesting to see that Marinette is struggling, like, a lot. And, well, even the stuff with Luca is kind of weird. Just, basically, a lot of this episode really could have revealed a lot of people's identities very quickly, and yet nobody got their identities revealed. How? How did no one's identities get revealed here? It's weird. Anyways, Julika gets the Miraculous of the Tiger, which I do have to say, I love her outfit and the fact that she actually has like this kind of corrupted hand where the jewelry is. And it's just, it looks cool. It looks like really badass. And it actually kind of makes me think that in the future, Julika's actually going to lose a hand at some point. I know that sounds really dark, but it actually would be kind of cool to see something like that for a future character. And because of the fact that the hand kind of looks robotic anyways, it could just continue to be more robotic when she gets to that point. It's just a weird thought, and it would be really interesting to see if that actually comes into fruition. I kind of doubt that it will, but at the same time, it's like, it wouldn't surprise me. But again, her power set. Basically, the way that we see it, she punches. She's kind of got a one-punch situation. And yet, Marinette specifically mentions this is the Miraculous of influence. And it makes me wonder, what exactly did that punch do? The fact is that we didn't really get to see how it affected them after they got punched. They simply just went off flying, and then everything was turned back to normal. And honestly, basically everything after that is kind of just meh, because it's just making amends and stuff like that, which, yeah, it's good, but at the same time it's not. It's just kind of boring, because it was not very much of it. But the question still remains, what exactly is going on? Perhaps what it actually does is that when she actually does the punch, it will actually cause whoever she is talking to actually do whatever she is saying for them to do. Even though it does send them very far, it could be a possibility. The fact is, though, that we have no idea. as of right now, it's just a big punch power. And the fact is that we've got stuff like that. And Miraculouses are supposed to be one per thing. So the fact that none of them, it's just weird, like I said. I don't know. And we'll just have to wait and see exactly how it's going to play out moving forward. But if just based off of the name, it does make me think influence is important. It does have something to do with her previous power. So because of that, I'm still going to hold on to that hope that every single power is still somewhat connected to, well, what the person had before. I mean, Milen still has size manipulation to an extent. And, I mean, honestly, do we need to talk about Alia or frickin' the fact that Chloe and Zoe basically had the same powers when they got akumatized, and then when they became Queen Bee and Vespera, it's like the fudge. Yeah, and Carapace still, like, everyone has some connection between their powers. So, yeah, and I've talked extensively about it, and we'll talk more extensively about it as things continue, but who knows exactly how things are going to play out moving forward. I, for one, am really excited to see, but, of course, as I've been doing, we've got to, of course, talk about the episodic order. So, just a quick reminder that this episode, Crocoduel, takes place between Guilt Trip and Optigami, which is actually really interesting, because clearly Alia is helping Marinette quite a bit in this episode. Yet, she is not really taking that much of a stance in this. She's still very, very careful. It's interesting. She's not really doing, she's still doing a lot, but she's not doing as much. But everyone still has changed quite a bit from what we've seen. I mean, Adrian is still a bit, in his loosey-goosey stage, because he's kind of been like that, like, the entire first half of the season. But it was absolutely really interesting. And also, that's another factor to be aware of. Like, Wishmaker is right around the corner, I believe, with Psychomedian and Gabriel Gress just not having episode release dates yet, sadly. But once Wishmaker comes out, we will be getting probably right after that, we will be getting the halfway season mark, where we're going to probably be getting the entire series on Netflix or on Disney Plus, or the first half. The first half, once things actually get finished in English. Which, keep in mind, pretty much every episode that's come out so far is now in English, except for currently Crocoduel and Wishmaker is coming soon. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually the case. So, yeah, more stuff to talk about very soon. Wishmaker video will be coming out soon. Also, tomorrow is we're going to be talking about Centimonsters, so look forward to that. And of course, the day afterwards, we have a bit of a big thing coming. Again, I would like to do something later down this week, maybe it will be next week, where I will talk about, well, the fact that we just passed 6 freaking years, and it will be something really cool for you guys. But it's probably going to just take a little bit more extra time because I haven't actually planned this. But anyways, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like. Leave your thoughts and theories down in the comments below. If you are going to leave a theory, make sure to say theory review somewhere in a comment. And of course, if you guys haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and ring that notification bell. And if you want to support the channel even more, then definitely head down to the description and check out all of our links down there, including our social medias, our other channels, and ways you can support us financially, including the merch store, the book, and of course our Patreon, which a big thank you to our current patron, Sheeny. But anyways, guys, I have been Electro Ninja, and I will see you guys next time. But on!